Hey everyone! So if you've ever found yourself wondering where exactly YouTube draws the line on hate speech, well, you're in the right place. It's a really complex topic for creators and for viewers, so let's just dive right in and unpack the official rules.
So it really all boils down to this one simple question, right? What actually is hate speech according to YouTube? It seems like it should be obvious, but as you'll see, the details are where things get really interesting. To get our heads around this, we're going to break it down into 5 key parts. We'll start with the basic definition, then we'll get into the 7 specific things you can't post. After that, we'll cover where these rules apply, talk about the super important role of context, and finally, look at what happens if you break the rules.
Okay, first things first. We've got to build a solid foundation here. Before we jump into all the specifics, we need to understand the one core idea that the entire policy is built on.
And here it is, the official definition. Hate speech is any content that promotes hatred, discrimination, or violence. Now, the key phrase here is based on certain characteristics. This isn't just about being mean or insulting. It's about targeting people for who they are.
So what does YouTube mean by certain characteristics? Well, take a look. This list is pretty extensive. It covers the things you might expect, like race and religion, but also age, disability, immigration status, and even veteran status. They even include protections for victims of major violent events and their families. Basically, if your content attacks someone based on any of these things, you're probably crossing the line.
All right, now that we have the definition down, let's see how it plays out in the real world. We're about to do a quick run-through of the 7 specific kinds of content that YouTube says are absolutely not allowed. Think of this as the platform's big list of don'ts.
First up, and this one's a pretty obvious one, you absolutely cannot encourage violence. This means direct calls to action, telling people to go out and physically harm someone. So saying something like, go punch all members of X religion? Yeah, that's a crystal clear, very serious violation. This isn't about debate, it's about stopping real-world harm before it starts. Second is promoting hatred. Now, this is a little broader. It's about spreading hateful ideas and making these huge negative generalizations. For example, a video that claims all immigrants are criminals. Content like this is designed to create a hostile environment, and that can lead to some really serious discrimination. Number 3, dehumanization. This is when content tries to strip a group of people of their humanity. Comparing them to animals or vermin or diseases. Saying something like, these people are dogs, is a textbook example. Language like this has a really dark history, so of course it's completely forbidden. Fourth on the list, you can't claim one group is inferior to another. This is all about attacking a group's basic qualities, saying they're less intelligent or less capable or less moral. A statement like, women are less intelligent than men, for example, is a direct violation because it attacks a group's fundamental right to be seen as equals. Number 5 is all about hate supremacy. This covers any content that pushes the idea that one group is superior to all others, like saying, our race is superior and should rule everyone else. And this isn't just about ideas. It also covers things like trying to recruit people for supremacist groups. Sixth, we have pushing dangerous conspiracy theories that target a protected group. You've probably seen versions of this, like claims that a specific community secretly controls all the world's governments. This stuff is explicitly banned because historically it's been used to scapegoat people and incite real violence.
And finally, number 7, you cannot deny that major violent events happened. This means you can't make content that tries to minimize or deny well-documented tragedies. For instance, claiming that the victims of this attack were actors is a direct violation because it's deeply hurtful to the real victims and it tries to rewrite history.
So we've covered the what. Now let's talk about the where. You might just be thinking about the videos themselves, but trust me, this policy's reach goes way, way further than that.
Yeah, this policy is everywhere. It's not just the video content itself. It's your titles, your descriptions, the comment section, live streams, even community posts. And here's the one that catches a lot of people by surprise. It even applies to external links. That's right, if you link out to a hateful website from your video, that can get your own channel a strike.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get a little complicated. It's not always black and white. Sometimes the exact same words can either be banned or allowed, and it all comes down to one thing: context. Let's dig into this gray area. This slide is the perfect example. Let's say you make a documentary about a hate group. If that documentary supports the group and promotes their ideas, it's banned, no question. But if you make a documentary that criticizes that same group, say for educational or journalistic reasons, that's often allowed. The whole thing hinges on your purpose. Are you endorsing the hate, or are you exposing it?
And here is a super important point for any creators out there. The context has to be clear in the video or audio itself. You can't just post a bunch of hateful stuff and then add a little line in the description that says, for educational purposes. It doesn't work that way. The critique or condemnation has to be part of the actual content.
All right, we've talked about the rules, we've talked about the gray areas. So now for the big question. What actually happens when somebody gets it wrong? What are the real consequences?
Well, YouTube uses what they call a 3-strike system. The first time you mess up, you usually just get a warning. They'll even let you take a training course to make it go away. But if it happens again within 90 days, you get strike 1. And that means you can't upload anything for a week. A third time gets you strike 2 and a 2-week freeze. And if you get 3 strikes in that 90-day window, that's it. Your channel is terminated.
But, and this is a really big but, there's an exception. For the absolute worst violations, like content that's directly promoting violence, or a channel that's just dedicated to spreading hate, YouTube won't bother with the strikes. They can and they will just terminate the channel immediately.
And just so you know, this isn't some policy that just sits on a shelf collecting dust. YouTube enforces this stuff on a massive scale. If you're curious, you can look up their public transparency report. It shows you exactly how many millions of videos get taken down every quarter for breaking the rules. So, after all that information, if you just want one simple rule of thumb to remember, it's this. If what you're making is designed to attack a group of people based on who they are, their religion, their race, their gender, and so on, then you are almost definitely wading into territory that violates YouTube's policies. Which really leaves us with the huge overarching question that everyone, the platforms, the creators, all of us, is grappling with right now. In this digital world, how do we find that perfect balance between protecting free expression while also making sure everyone feels safe on the platform? It's a tough one, and it's definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for tuning in.